is Alistair Charlton. I'm a technology reporter for the International Business Times, and I've got a number of devices here that I use to help me get my job done better, get it done more efficiently and more quickly. First up is the trusty iPhone. Can't go anywhere without it. Yeah, it's a phone, and make calls and make texts, but also obviously you've got an internet connection, so you've got email, Facebook, Twitter, everything you can need for communication. Then also from a journalist point of view, you've got voice recording for interviews, video recording for interviews. You've got a decent 8 megapixel camera, so you can take photos and send them over to the news desk, or email them or share them on Twitter. Through the browser I can also get to the content management system at work, so that means I can log into the system, file a story from my phone, which I have done before. It's a little tedious with a small keyboard, but it's possible. And then I could email a photo to go with that. So it's a really handy piece of kit. The battery is pretty poor if you're going to use it all day every day, but obviously I've got everything I could possibly need on here for keeping up to date. Really this is the hub of not only sort of my personal social life, but also my work life. It really helps to get work done quicker and more efficiently. Next up we have the iPhone. If you put it in a photocopier at 140%, you get the iPad mini. I'm new to the mini. I previously had a full-size iPad. I moved because I wanted something that was more portable, well, from a personal point of view I wanted it so I could read on the train, but from a work point of view it has everything that an iPad has, but in a smaller, more portable form factor, which is great. On the iPad I would type a story quite comfortably. I can do it on the iPhone, but it's not ideal. On the iPad the keyboard is plenty big enough to just put it on a desk, put it on my knee at a press event or wherever, type away a story, and again, as with the iPhone, just stick it in the content management system or in an email and get it sent over to the editor. Really easy to use. So I've got these and these are great, but I think something that would help a lot more is to have an app on the iPad that would do split screen. I know that's not something that Apple allow at the moment, but if they did, I think an application that had a social media stream on one side, say Twitter on one side, or even just in maybe a third of the screen, and the rest for a CMS to upload, copy to work. So then you could pull in tweets, and if you could even just do a quick search and grab them and pull them across, drag them into a story, and then they're embedded. I think that would be really, really helpful for live blogging and for covering breaking news, as a lot of the time I go to press events for technology announcements, say a company has a new product to show off, and everyone's there furiously typing away, doing a live blog. And at the moment, I don't really have the software that I'd like to have to be able to do a live blog effectively. So that would be something that would be very, very high up on my list. And especially the nature of online journalism is that the deadline is always 10 minutes ago, and you're really chasing the story. So I think to be able to have an app that as soon as you open the iPad, bang, you're into the CMS and you can go. I think that would be really beneficial. Okay. Right, so technology has completely changed the face of journalism in a lot of ways, right through the history of journalism, from the invention of the printing press up to the internet, social media, smartphones and beyond. What that's meant, certainly in the last only 2 or 3 years, and especially in 2012, as news breaking from Twitter, being picked up on Twitter either by journalists or by people who happen to be caught in a story. And a couple of examples that I've personally been involved with. First one was when there was the shooting at the Batman screening of Dark Knight Rises, where a couple of people came in and shot members of the audience. It was a horrible story, but we found that on Twitter just minutes after it had happened. Before any newswire had said anything, before Reuters had said anything, we saw a tweet. All it takes for a tweet to get across the Atlantic is 2 or 3 retweets, and it appeared in a newsroom in London. When we saw that happen, we think, okay, this is a story here, absolutely, but is it true? Has this actually happened? Is this a joke, a hoax, misinformation? What is it? So there's an issue there. So it's remarkably easy for news to get out of hand. when it comes from Twitter. Another issue with the sort of the rise of social media and journalism being online more so than in print is that news online is much more like TV news than it is newspaper news. A newspaper I see as a sort of a record of what happened the previous day. Whatever happened is finished, and here it is in the newspaper as a finished story. Online is very different. Online is, here's a story that has just started happening, and we're writing about it right now. A story breaks, we might put a headline, a picture, and 2 paragraphs, and then developing ... and then jump back in and write a bit more. And for that reason, it's a lot more like rolling TV news, where it's sort of you're drip feeding the news as you get it. And it can be good or bad, because on one hand you are breaking news, truly breaking news. A newspaper doesn't break news as such unless they have some kind of scoop that they've been able to keep quiet. But with breaking news online, you are right at the front, and you've got to be careful not to make a mistake, because in the heat of the moment you're trying to get that story out as quick as you can. And you try to do it quickly because everyone else is writing about it as well. All of your rivals are all doing exactly the same thing, and it's a race to who gets there first, which is a shame. But that's how online journalism is. Putting technology into our hands, smartphones, iPads, whatever, internet connections, it also means that you're giving absolutely everybody the ability to broadcast, especially with Twitter. Anybody can tweet whatever they like, within reason. And that leads to the phrase citizen journalism.